Rasa Ride Sharing Company arasa.ca என்ற இணையதளத்துக்கு சென்று The Rasa Drivers app-னை டவுன்லோட் செய்து டிரைவர்ஸாக வேலை வாய்ப்பை பெறுங்கள். மாதாந்தம் $4000 வரை சம்பாதியுங்கள். வணிக நிறுவனங்கள் Rasa இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் மளிகைப் பொருட்கள் மற்றும் உணவுப் பொருட்களை விற்பதோடு வாடிக்கையாளர்களுக்கு டெலிவரி செய்யலாம். தமிழில் தகவல்களை அறியாளையுங்கள். GTA பற்றி 40 ஆண்டுகள் அறிந்து கொண்டவரும் வீடு விற்பனை துறை ஊடாக மக்களால் அறியப்பட்டவருமான சிவா பிள்ளை. 416-854-0005. Taxi broker licensed by City of Toronto.
Recording in progress.
If you want success in your life, you have to have a goal. You have to have a goal set. You have to have a schedule. What you're going to do. That's happening only for the people. 100 out of only for the people. 100 out of 100 people. I think. Please mute your websites and phones. It is coming back as the sound echo coming from your phones. Please, there are few of them still. Keeping the microphone on. Please mute. Thank you so much. Okay, we are in the real estate industry. We are in the sales industry. We have a goal set. We want to make certain millions in our life. We want to have some luxury life. The country all over the world, US and America, North America, where we can get the opportunities. The world, nowhere else, even Europe, they have so much issues. We are the best country, especially real estate industry. I would say I started 95. Everybody, you guys know, I don't need to repeat every day, but over 25 years, every time real estate industry is still booming. Get the graph, sometimes go up and down, doesn't matter. That we need that one. We had to have when we wake up in the morning, guys, to make it short for the video. If you want, I can share the video with you guys too. The audio is not a video, it's audio book. I had to thanks to Mr. Shiva Nagamani. He might be in this group today or not. I'm not really sure, but at the same time, he always posting us for the motivational the quotes in the WhatsApp group at the Home Life. Plus, he sent me sometime the audio book. Actually, he sent it to me, this audio book, a few weeks ago. I got the chance to listen only yesterday and today morning. Guys, please, early morning, listen some audio books when you drive the car and motivate yourself. We want for some reason, not to live in the regular standard. We had to achieve. Anything is possible in the country we are living, anything is possible. The field we are in, any amount of money we can make it. Don't give excuse. Don't give excuse for yourself. And don't blame the industry. Don't blame the language skill. Don't blame the wife. Don't blame the husband. And don't blame the community. the money out there, million dollars out there here. Make use of it. As I said today, we already have three more months. Maybe December 2 weeks alone. Only other 2 more weeks for 10 more weeks. Make use of it and make money. The money you make, if you don't want it, just give it to somebody else. Send it to the donations, and don't stop making money, guys. That's what I would say. All right, every single one, we had to know how another 4 minutes, and I can go to the questions. Last 10 minutes I give the time for everybody. Another few minutes we will discuss in common. If you have any question, I'm doing this Zoom meeting for you guys. I try to pick some topics every day to say something is new, or motivate yourself, or just refreshing your mind. If you need anything, just come out and ask me. Then we can discuss. What I can say, if you want to get success, what you have to do every day, you have to have a schedule. Every one of us, we have a 24 hours. The wake up time, nobody going to stop your wake up time. You have to wake up and you have to do the physical exercise. Control your intake, food in your mouth. That's very important to keep your body and the mind good. Control that part, and do some physical exercise, and do the motivational, not only motivation is not enough, but good habit videos, and make a schedule for yourself. Make a schedule for yourself every time when you before you go to bed, go to MLS, look at the market, what is happening in the market. You had to see it. You had to have a schedule. You had to have a goal set. How much money are you supposed to make? How much money are you supposed to make? How many deals are you supposed to do? Doesn't matter market change. Doesn't mean nothing going to stop. As I said 2 weeks ago, interest rate went up. We don't want to sit down and cry. Interest rate went up is a negative effect for the cap rate. As I said, I'm repeating because I maybe some new agents might be here today that day. The cap rate, what happened? The cap rate is a commercial industry. Interest rate goes up, cap rate come down. If the cap rate come down, what happened? You have a good bargain for the commercial. This is the right time for the commercial bargain. Go for a plazas, go for rental apartments. The rental apartment, not 100% commercial, but go for the investment properties and bargain because the cap rate is lower. Make some deals. Then that's been, rather than you selling the regular house for 2 million or 1 billion, go for $5 million worth of commercial. Everything is possible in our mind. Only thing, you had to open your mind up. You have to open your mind up. You have to look at the right path. You have to look at the right path where I can get it. Every single day you have to do your advertisement. Every single day you have to do your farming. As I said, already 3 Zoom meeting I repeated. One of the deal, our agents completed with other community agent put it in is a 2.7 million Airbnb house. Is a waterfront cottage. How he got the client? From the Facebook marketplace. He advertised the house for sale. Facebook marketplace, guys, is a free advertisement on Facebook marketplace. Maybe if you have a business page, maybe $5 cost, $10 cost. That's less than that. Facebook marketplace, he advertised his listing, and he got the client and double-ended the transaction. It's not actually about his listing, but he advertised his friend listing, and he closed the transaction and talking about $75,000 commission where he advertised Facebook marketing page. Why? Don't underestimate anything. Do something every day. Make your schedule. Move forward for the advertisement. Meet more people. Prospecting. Either buyer prospecting or seller prospecting. Seller prospecting can be anything for the commercial, residential, industrial, farmland, or anything. Buyer prospecting, new buyers are coming into Canada because the Canada is one of the heaven for the peoples. Everybody coming into Canada, new buyers, brand new buyers, new immigrants people who waiting to buy the property, and even people who have money. The market is coming down. Tell them to buy a bigger properties, 25 acres land in the house, farmland. Guys, nothing is going to control you other than your mind. Please believe, nothing is going to control you other than your mind. Do the mind exercise and body exercise, and keep your energy level high. Do yoga. Yoga is a good one to bring your energy level high, okay? I wish we can have the meeting in the training room, is sitting there, paying $4,000 a month to carry this training room, but everybody like the Zoom meeting. If you guys like to come here and join, physically involved, that's good for your mind. Okay, send me the text. If more than 10 people send me the text, I can open up, because I'm spending the time. I'm sitting here. I can simply come and stand and do both Zoom as well as the in class. We can go ahead and do it. Okay. Before we go for, I send the message today, power of sale and the foreclosure, estate sale. Power of sale is coming in with the foreclosure too. Power of sale and estate sale. I'm going to talk both sides. How do you going to get the power of sale listing? How do you, if somebody called you to give the estate listing, what do you have to be careful? If you are making the offer for the power of sale as well as the estate sale, what do you have to be careful to protect your clients, either sell a client or buy a client? How do you protect your clients? This is the topic today we're going to talk. Before that one, I have a question. The agents' questions are more important, because this topic, I picked the topic. We have until 11 o'clock. Agents topic, we're going to talk. First, I always mark it out my notebook. What are the questions agents call me and ask me? Those are the questions I repeat for you guys, because that's the way we can, most of you guys may have this question in the future. All right, the first question is HST and commission deduction. One of the agent called me yesterday. He have $1 million transaction he did, 2.5% commission. That's been the 25,000 commission. 25,000 commission. What he did, some reason, he want to bring it down. He want to cut the commission. Complete commission. He want to cut 23,000 commission. His portion alone. His portion, not the company portion. His portion, $23,000. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes it's happening. I need to fix it. Last time also this happened. All right. What happened? The agent's commission side for the HSC side. That's what he asked. His intention. His deal is 1 million. His deal 1 million is 25,000. His commission, and plus the HST 13. The HST $3,000. The 13% HSC $3,250 plus his 25,000. His total commission calculation for himself, 25,000 plus the HSC 3,250, 28,500, and he cut the commission for 23,000. Then he was expecting he is going to get the balance. What happened? The other company said, you cut the commission $23,000, then how can you expect the HST for that commission? Then they said, your balance is only extra $2,000, and you're going to tell the officers and the invoice for $2,000 plus the HST $260, $2,260. He didn't understand. His argument was with other company as well as he called me to find out. His total commission is 25,000 plus HST 28,250, and cutting the commission 23,000. I should get the balance 5,250. That's the wrong answer. HST, you and me not controlling the HST. Federal Government of Canada, under the Exercise Act, is the one controlling the HST. The company, how much money they pay you, they had to pay the commission with the HST. If they don't pay the commission, they don't need to pay the HST. Please understand, when you cut the commission, if you cut the commission, you are cutting the commission as well as the HST. All right. Then what are the commission is available? That commission is come with HST. For his case, his expectation 5,000, 5,250. But according to the law, HST law, and the other company was right. That was my answer too. He is getting only $2,000 commission for that particular deal. In that case, what happening? 2,000 plus $260, 13%, $260 HST. He is eligible to get only $2,260 HST. For his question, I explained to him. I am informing all you guys too, in case anybody else come across one day. Other salesperson called me on the Wednesday. She is listing the property, that's her own property or his family property. And somebody advised her, get the lease agreement with the tenant and sign the N11 form upfront. That means N11 form. N11 form is Raphael also, I saw it, his name was there here. N11 form is mutually buyer and the landlord and tenant agreeing and signing up. Then I ask her, that's illegal. In my side, that's illegal. You cannot ask N11 form to sign. If you sign it right now, what's the date you're going to put? 1 year after, or what is the intention? And other party not going to sign the N11 form upfront to keep it. Even though they sign the N11 form, if they don't leave it, that's a major part. If they don't leave after 1 year, what are you going to do? I said that's not the right advice. Raphael, are you listening? Okay, that's fine. What happened here right now?
Good morning, Silvani. Yes, I'm here. So, N11 form is one of the most incorrectly used form all the time.
Perfect. Yes.
In the form itself, it says you cannot sign this form before starting the lease. It says in the form. It's written somewhere in the form. I don't have the form in front. So it's very clear there. And also, it's a mutual agreement. So the landlord and tenant, most of the time it's used is where I see it used is in the case the landlord wants to sell the property and says, okay, tenant, I want you to move. So the landlord and the tenant come to a mutual agreement, which is beneficial to both parties. The landlord says, okay, I'll give you moving expenses. Sorry. I'm going to give you 1 month's rent, which I have to give anyway if I'm asking you to move to sell. Plus, I'm going to give you 3 more months because that way you're gone quickly. So what happens is then you can execute an N11. In the N11, it doesn't have any space to put all these things into it, right? Whatever you and the landlord and the tenant agreed to give. So what you do is you do an N11 and then you do a side agreement where the landlord and the tenant agrees. If the tenant moves out by October 31st, the landlord will give them $10,000. The $10,000 will be held in trust in the lawyer's office. When they move out and when they give the key, we give the 10,000. So both sides are protected. That's when I think the N11 should be used properly. But otherwise, if you give N11 for any other reason, the tenant can go back and argue, the landlord gave me the wrong form. And the board is going to look at the intention of the landlord. So be careful when you use the N11.
Thanks, Selva. Thank you so much. I gave the similar answer, but you are a paralegal expert guy. You gave more detail for us. Thank you so much. We are lucky to have you all every week. We can ask you some questions. Thanks, Selva. Okay. The next question, other agent called me and asked me. She's the listing agent, and buyer gave the offer. Buyer gave the offer with condition of financing. And they already crossed out the inspection condition and other condition, only condition, financing condition. She's negotiating the cooperating agent, saying that one, take out the clause and give me the firm offer. In this case, somebody advised her, this is a question, somebody advised her, if I cross it out the financing condition, maybe in case they don't get the mortgage one day, I may get the blind. Then she asked the buyer agent to cross out the condition. Buyer agent said, you cross out the condition and give it to me. I asked my buyer to accept. She asked me, is there any difference? I said to her, I want you to understand, to everybody, because this question came from one of our member. There's no difference who cut the clause. But the agreement is between the buyer and seller. Who put the clause and who crossed the clause? If somebody crossed the clause, buyer crossed the clause, seller need to initially and accept it. Seller close it out, buyer need to accept it. In that case, whoever crossing out the clauses doesn't matter. They mutually agreed for the transaction and the terms and conditions in the purchase sale agreement. That's the one going to be effect for the in case anything go to the courts. Who's cutting the clause? Either buyer cutting the close or seller cutting the close is not a matter. In the final deal, what we have between the buyer and seller, that's an agreement for the court. Sometimes any issues come, the buyer might tell the RICO maybe complain in the salesperson saying that one is happened to our office sometime. The appraisal clause. One of the case, somebody complained to the court saying that one appraise value came down. I don't even know. I'm a professional doctor, medical professionals. We both are medical professionals. We don't even know anything about the appraisal clause. The appraisal clause came down. My salesperson never explained to me about the appraisal. I thought financing is financing. Financing approved is financing approval. But at the same time, we had a money, around 40% of the down payment we had, and we are medical professional. When we took the close out because our credit was good and everything. But appraisal, we don't know anything about the appraisal clause or appraisal in the real estate industry. They complain to RICO. That's a valid complaint. Then RICO can ask the salesperson what kind of due diligence you have, what kind of the practice you are doing it, how can you never explain to the client. Those one can happen with both the RICO side and even salesperson. Another case, another RICO complaint. I'm not talking about the purchase sale agreement go to the courts. That's a different, because that's only buyer and seller. But according to the RICO, we are professionals and we had to explain to the buyer and seller. And the seller already bought a property. Seller didn't sell his own property. Then, if you don't have the property, say the sale of the property, PPS clause, if you don't have that one, RICO could ask what kind of efforts you make, what kind of explanation you gave the seller before they buy the property. This can come for the RICO complaints, but according to the purchase sale agreement, the validity, whether buyer close it out or seller close it out, they assume those are the same standard. All right. And other questions came to me. What is the difference between non-resident seller's tax versus the non-resident speculation tax? I will repeat this one. One of the salesperson sent me the message and asking me since last night, what is the difference between non-resident seller tax versus non-resident speculation tax? 20% speculation tax. 20% non-resident speculation tax came to effect. You guys know that part. 15% they increased to 20%, and those kind of things. Okay, but there are two different things. One for the non-resident seller, one for the non-resident buyer. Non-resident seller tax is nothing is new. It's already there forever. The non-resident seller tax. Non-resident sellers, if they sell the tax, they had to, lawyers supposed to hold the 25% of the total value of the property. Again, non-resident seller's tax, the seller's lawyer supposed to keep 25% of the money, withholding money, until the seller give the certificate from the CRA, clearance certificate from CRA, and the certificate going to show how much money they had to pay for it. After that one, they release the rest of the money to the non-resident seller. That's called non-resident seller tax. The 20% non-resident speculation tax for the buyer. The buyer come and buy the residential properties, not commercial, residential property for we can have some definition what kind of residential property, up to 5 plex, 6 plex, and one of the time only golden horseshoe area. Later on, federal government changed that one. Those are the different one. But the 20% non-resident speculation tax is really for the buyer who buy the property in Canada. And here there are sometimes we have some issues come for the residency status. One person born in Canada, and they have the Canadian passport. He is living in England or Australia or even US for the last 10 years or in their life. If we come and give the passport to the lawyer doesn't know he is a resident or non-resident. Then the lawyer's responsibility to ask them, the seller, are you resident or non-resident? Vice versa, the student or the work permit guy who come and live in the Canada for last 10 years and building up the residency status in Canada, more than 2 years if he live, according to CRA, he is getting the residency status, but this particular issues, he doesn't have the federal IDs. There are some conflict between this non-residency taxes, but the same time, this is the way we can keep it. But mostly saying the Canadian citizens having the Canadian citizenship, what happened if he moved to the country, moved to different country, more than 183 days. He 183 days out of the country each year. That's what for the pensioners who receiving the older security pension. You guys heard about that one. They had to come to Canada every 6 months and this and that stories. Anyway, according to CRA, stay in Canada for less than 183 days per tax year, they become as a non-resident for that particular year. If somebody living outside of the country more than 2 years, they become automatically losing the residency status if they don't have any tie in Canada. Tie means normally the Canadian tie we call Canadian tie. You have the Canadian bank account, one of the Canadian tie. You have the house in Canada. That's of course you have a house in Canada. That means you still have a Canadian residency status you're maintaining even though you live in outside the countries. And or else other one, the residency ties. That's the word the CRA using is a residency tie. Can be list of things. I don't want to distract the meeting to go different direction. But at the same time, the question they got non-resident tax versus the non-resident seller tax versus non-resident the speculation tax. One for the seller and one for the buyer, guys. And what's the other one today?
Can I ask you a quick question regarding that? Hi.
Sure, yeah, you can ask me. Yes.
So like you're saying how for the non-resident tax, like the lawyer has to ask the right questions in order to
Sarah,
understand.
you asking for the seller or buyer?
For the seller.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So the lawyer has to do their due diligence and figure out if the person is like living or qualified as a non-resident resident. Where does the agent play in this? Like, I know that we have to complete FinTrack, but let's just say, for example, the seller is telling the agent, like, I'm a resident, I have ties, but like reality is maybe they're living outside of the country. Can the agent get into any issues, or as long as like you ask questions and you get some answers, it's more up to the lawyer to kind of confirm this? I just want you to speak.
Sarah, real estate regulations giving us enough room. For example, before I answer your question, I'm going to go to a different one. You are going to get the listing. Somebody died in the house. If they don't tell, you don't know. Nobody going to ask every listing. Is anybody died this house? Anybody suicide this house? No, you don't ask. But you are not an investigation officer. Same thing. If the seller is giving you the Canadian ID, Canadian driver's license, Canadian ID, that's enough for you. If they say I don't have a Canadian ID, if they disclose to you voluntarily, I'm not a Canadian resident. Of course, you have to give it to the lawyers. He is not a Canadian resident. If you don't know, you don't know. You are not an investigation officer. You are only a real estate salesperson. That's between. If you hide anything, yes, you are in trouble. If you don't know, you don't know. I don't think you need to dig too much with the seller. I'm not saying be a salesperson. Don't be an investigation officer. Whatever the IDs they gave you, just fill out and give it to them. And if you think they are hiding anything, just tell them to disclose to the lawyers. We will be under our business, Sarah. But as long as if you know them for a while, if they are your business clients, in a way, you talk about the FinTrack, and I want to use the word business client. That's mean they deal with you second time. They're dealing with you second time. In that case, you have established relationship with your clients. In that case, you might know. In case you know, any issues come from the buyer side. The non-residents people's problem come from the buyer side. If the non-residents, either HST or capital gain or anything, or even assignment transaction came from May 7, non-residents doesn't pay, that one transfer to the buyer's shoulder. Assigner doesn't pay, go to the assignee shoulder. Something like that come, they will say the listing agent didn't disclose. If you know it, you can disclose. If you are a business client, yes, you do some, you may be responsible. Other than that, we are not investigation officers. We are real estate agent. We can stay in our real estate regulation and our boundaries.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any question anybody have? I have one more question to go. Sorry, guys. The questions are important. That's going to give everybody more knowledge. Okay, the next one, RRSP withdrawal. The agent called me. 2 days ago, early morning, and called me. I sent a message to her today. Come to the Zoom and listen more. I don't know. I cannot see. I can see only one screen. Okay, RRSP withdrawal. She said this year her income is lower, and what is the best time to withdraw the RRSP? And my question to her immediately, why you want to withdraw the RRSP? She said, my income is lower. I want to save the tax bracket. RRSP government started registered retirement saving plan. That's been somebody come to Canada and you don't need to go to welfare if you come with the money. Same thing as a Canadian, you live this country, the luxury country you are living, you are making luxury of money. You have the RRSP. That RRSP money, government give you the tax shelter. What is RRSP? That's you are postponing your tax not to pay today, paying the later time. When the later time? When your income is lower or else after 65 years of age. In this case, if many of us having some conflicting information or else misguidance and everything, if we have an RRSP, we have to withdraw the RRSP, our income is lower. Otherwise, we don't get the pension or we don't get the supplement. Our life, we are living here. You are saving your RRSP. Use your RRSP after 65 years whenever you cannot work. Why you want to depend on the government money? In my side, if somebody come and ask me, can I withdraw the before 65? People's advice, before 65, take your RRSP. Then only you get the government old age security and old age security supplement. Old age security supplement is a decent word. Old age security supplement is a federal welfare. After leave this country for all these years, after you made millions of this country as a real estate agent or any other field, why you want to go to the federal welfare? Old age security supplement. But second thing, you don't even know when the government can stop the supplement. I don't think they're going to stop the supplement. They started Justin Trudeau's father when he was alive at that time for the old age security supplement for the non-working spouse, old age security pension, as well as supplement to balance the standard of living for the luxury country of Canada, wealthy countries like Canada. They did that one. Okay, we'll come back directly to the RRSP side. Okay, the RRSP, yes, Canadian tax system is a progressive tax system. Who are making higher income, they pay higher tax. Who are making the money less than 13,000, they don't even pay the taxes. Our target is $13,000. That's a welfare amount or less welfare amount. That's the one they are thinking you need enough to live in the country. Those ones, the tax-free money up to 13,000, 14,000. Different provinces and different federal government around 30,000. Say 40,000 for basic one. After that one, you started to pay the taxes. The different bracket for 40,000, 80,000, 120,000, and the highest bracket is somebody have it over 220,000 in Canada, in Ontario. Ontario tax from federal tax is 52%. 52%. And if somebody is having a self-employment people, you are paying the Canada pension too. But withdrawing the RRSP, if you have a lower income, you want to withdraw the RRSP. In my side, we need to have a serious discussion in the classroom discussion of why we want the government money. Are you eligible for the government money? Yes. Another answer, if you are buying the RRSP with a higher bracket and you are withdrawing the RRSP with the lower bracket, just you save some money for the tax bracket. Then if somebody feel like you have a lower income, yes, that's the best time to withdraw it. If you need money, if you want to withdraw the money because you have an RRSP, I feel like under the financial side, it's not a really good advice for that one. If whenever we read more of the RRSP withdrawal and what is RRSP and those kind of plans, again, my straightforward answer to the person who asked me, yes, lower income side, you can withdraw it. In that case, you pay less tax. First 14, for example, your income is zero, for example, first 14,000, what are the taxes they deduct? You get back the full amount. From $14,000 to $42,000, you get the lower bracket. The first bracket, just you can get the, you can pay only less money to the government. That's my answer. But don't withdraw the RRSP. That's your money. If you live good after 71 years, you can withdraw as a RIF. RRSP designed for postponing the tax as a tax shelter after 65 years of age. Okay, the next question is.
I have a follow-up question, Silvana. Sorry, is that okay if I ask?
Questions are good. I welcome the questions. Go ahead.
So RRSPs, let's say if I take my $1,000 out, do I get the room for $1,000 or I lost that room forever?
Can you repeat again, please, slowly?
Yeah. So let's say if I've taken $1,000 out, just $1,000 out from my RRSPs, do I lose that room or I keep that room so I can give the $1,000 back because of getting the shelter again, or it's just I lost that room of RRSPs?
It's a very good question, actually. The room created by your income. Room doesn't create whether you withdraw it, whether you withdraw it or you contribute, doesn't matter. For example, every year, whatever the money you make, I think it's changed last year a little bit, but I didn't check it for you especially today. But the RRSP room, 18% of your previous year income. 18% of your previous year income is an RRSP room. For example, last year you could make any amount, but up to 18% only, 18% of your income only became as an RRSP room. But the RRSP room doesn't matter you contribute the RRSP or you don't contribute the RRSP. You contribute the RRSP, you withdraw the RRSP, doesn't matter. Contribution room only by your income. Plus other factor, if you have a registered pension plan from your workplace, if you have a registered pension plan, is the anything is changed, guys? Voice and everything is okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, because I see the host name change. Something happened to the phone, maybe. Okay, the host phone. Okay, all right. But RRSP room based on the previous year's income. But the same time, RRSP only thing RRSP or only time RRSP's limitation change if the person who working have a registered pension plan. That registered pension plan is more than say about 100,000. Somebody making it. Registered pension plan, employer and employee's contribution is coming up to a certain level, deducted by that one. That's the only one I know so far. I'm double checking the RRSP room, guys. Give me a moment, then I want to give the right amount for you guys. RRSP room, I think it's 18% is the one my knowledge, but this anything is changed. I just wanted to figure it out. Yes, it doesn't change. It still is. It's 2022. Bear with me, please. I'm checking for you guys to give the right answer. Yes, it's 18%, as well as the maximum limit. The maximum limit one person can have, even though their income is 500,000, $29,210 as per federal side. Okay, as I said, is right. Is 18%. That doesn't change. But the limitation is there. What's the limit you could go per year for your RRSP? Even though if you're making, for example, 500,000 income, if you are a 500,000 income maker, the 18% limit is coming up to 90,000. But they have a ceiling for that one. 18% is a lower income bracket people, and the maximum limit is 29,210. That's a maximum limit one person can contribute RRSP, even though your income is over any amount. All right. All right. Another one came from Ontario legal group. As I told you, everybody please follow Ontario Real Estate Legal Discussion Group. Again, I thanks to Sarah. She put something last week. Today morning I saw this one. Then I took that one out. This came today morning. This question I thought maybe I can tell you guys. That's the way I can tell you to. I can encourage you to look at that particular group. Someone asking for the help to the lawyers, saying that when lawyers are just in the requesting what happened. My client, the seller, never did any loan or any second mortgages. Somebody pulled. We pulled the pin and show is registered on August 30th in 2022. It's an illegal loan registered under the seller's property. Then how can we handle this one? The present lawyer is incompetent for his handling the deal. What that means is somebody did the fraud in the seller's property and pull the money out. If the seller's closing is September, he has to pay the money to clear it out. Then asking how can we do that one? Okay, for example, we've seen this one many times. We've seen that many times. If we've seen this many times. Okay, for example, every time when we close a transaction, we are getting the title insurance. Any fraud come like this, the title insurance companies, lawyers going to handle this one. But the same time, we have to get the as for mine, I didn't get much comments because the new things came today. As for my knowledge, we had to get the approval from the title insurance before we sell the property. Because the money, whatever registered, title insurance going to handle it. Title insurance takes time. Title insurance lawyers verify all the fraudulent transaction, and title insurance is obligated to pay us for this particular, pay the seller for this money. But the same time, it takes time. If the closing date, just the closing dates, buyer can sue the seller because buyer doesn't make any mistake. In that case, closing date is going to be closing date. In that case, we had to get the approval from the title insurance company before we sell. In that case, title insurance continue to work this one. Please go through and read all these ones daily basis and improve your knowledge, guys. All right, I'm going to go through my targeting training today. Power of sale and estate deals. Maybe I can start with the listing first because the market is changing. You may have a chance to get the power of sale listings. Power of sale listing. Okay, power of sale listing where you can every deals we have a different kind of marketing to get the listing. For example, you knock the door to door, you knock and get the listing, regular listing, and you go to the builder to get the brand new properties to list. Whatever doesn't sell. Or else you go to the commercial guy to get the commercial owners to get the commercial listing. Same thing, power of sale listing. What is power of sale? What is power of sale? The lender is getting the power to sell. That's called power of sale. Then I can tell you what is power of sale. Power of sale means, and when the power of sale start. After that one, we can talk about the power of sale. What is power of sale first? Then after that one, we can go for power. How to get the power of sale listing? What are the process? Okay, power of sale. When the power of sale start, the moment the client doesn't pay for the mortgages. For example, most common being stop paying the mortgage payment. When somebody stop paying the mortgage payment, that's a first alert for the sellers. How many months? It depends on the lender. Depends on the lender how many months. But according to the law, the lender can wait 15 days and give the warning for give the letter saying that to the borrower, saying that one demand payment and he's wait 15 days. After 15 days, he can start the power of sale process. Power of sale, not only the mortgage payment. There are some other causes, but the most common cause is non-payment, but at the same time, other causes are failing to adequate the insurance of the property. If somebody doesn't pay the insurance company informed the first mortgage and second mortgage, mortgage for the non-payment of the insurance. But what happened to major banks? What usually do, they don't take it to power of sale, but they have the rights to go power of sale. When you ask to sign the mortgage documents to the bank, how many pages you sign? Royal Bank send your clients for the power sale, or when you buy your own houses. At least I could say around 150, 100 pages. Most of the, at least say around 75 pages. Sometimes the long sheets. You had to initial every pages. They are proving what are the clauses there. Many clauses are there. Those are the one based on the agreement we sign, based on the commitments the bank giving us. We are approving the mortgage. That's the way they based on taking all the actions. So all the action based on that one. Okay. So one of the thing, insurance payment, but most of the banks, what they do, the banks, they don't go to power of sale so far for the insurance. They go to the insurance company and get their own insurance and add the insurance in the mortgage payment. And maybe any high amount, doesn't matter. Mortgage insurance default, they go to the insurance company and get their own insurance and cover it their mortgage side. Failing it to pay the property taxes, yes. Failing it to pay the property taxes, I handle it. That's an auctions. Mostly, you guys know we are running two lending companies. One my personal and another one me corporations. Time to time we get the letters from the city saying that this is the outstanding balance. Surprisingly, one of the deal I saw it around $60,000 outstanding property taxes. But what happened? The time to time the property city send the tax bill to the first mortgage and second mortgages and saying that one they are ready to go for power of sale, or you guys pay it and add this money to the mortgages, something like that. But if the seller not existing or anything happen or the refuse to pay the certain amount reach, that's the time you can see it. Auction by the city. I participate in few auctions in my life. Auction by the cities come from the power of sale. Property tax default. The next one, putting another mortgage on the property. Just putting another mortgage on the property is one of the violation. Many people thinking their bank doesn't know. Many times I got a letter from the lawyers inform somebody getting the bank, and they going to, after 1 week or 2 weeks, they're going to get the second mortgage to balance it up the 10% deal. They want to get the 20%. They're going with another company and getting it. If the major bank get to know those one, how do they get to know? Their department double check everything. They pull the title insurance, not the title insurance. They pull the abstract. When they pull the abstract, they know how many mortgages are registered. When they pull the abstract, they don't do it usually. The market goes up. If the market goes down, they feel like the value of the property going down. Especially the property is an investment property. Investment property, the owner doesn't live there. The tenants. The tenants may have a dog, two, three dogs. Sorry, guys, I'm talking about the pets. Not discouraging if somebody has a pet, don't get offended. If somebody has 2, 3 dogs in the house, the tenants, what will happen? Definitely the house get damaged. The investment properties, the banks, they always double check the abstract and see how many mortgages are registered in the system. We are private lenders. We do the same thing too. We don't care about $70. We go there and check it out. What's the lender is doing it? What's the borrower is doing it? Are they pulling any extra money or not from different places? And what is outstanding balance and other things? We do that one. Okay, if the bank find out, recently I can share with you guys. That's good knowledge for whoever is there today. Whoever in the system, you can listen. What happened? One of the lawyers sent me the statement saying that one title insurance company sent the title insurance company sent the inquiry for the lawyer saying that one the second mortgage registration. What happened? After lawyers closed the transaction, they had to do the package. And they had to each and every checks, copy of each and every checks, they had to send it to the title insurance company. And title insurance company is it's kind of watchdog, the title insurance company. For example, this week I get a call. Sorry guys, this week I am moving to different topic, but this week I get a call from one of the salesperson saying that one down payment is $140,000 down payment. The client get the draft from $25,000 from his own account and another $115,000 from another lawyer. That's mean indirectly we can see it. They go in for 125,000 second mortgage going to be registered later date. And to this particular lawyer see the draft. The draft came from another lawyer's name. They refused to close the transaction that particular date. Of course, the lawyer, we cannot blame the lawyer. Some lawyers close the eyes and close it, and the lawyer is serious lawyer. He is in default. If the insurance company can ask, they had to send it out. They had to send it out every checks what they cut. They had to send it out to the insurance company. In this case, the lawyer refused to close. I don't know the end what happened. This happened 2 days ago. Okay, guys, I come back to this point. Then the lawyer sent a package to the Royal, for example, Royal Bank. The Royal Bank giving the first mortgage. The lawyer who acting for the Royal Bank, that's been borrower's lawyer. He has to pack it and send the deal to the Royal Bank, all the document as well as plus the insurance company. Someday the lawyers delay with the BC. They have 21 days, I believe, to send it out, and they delay sending it out. That time they already have a second mortgage. They can easily find out. Anyway, guys, I'm at the page of the mortgage default. Putting another mortgage in the property. That's one of the part they can say, but they don't go to power of sale. They can give the notice for 30 days notice. 30 days notice to clear the mortgage out. What will happen? If not, 5% mortgage is going to be 18% mortgage until you pay off. It's not fully open mortgage because they cannot renew the mortgage. Fully open mortgage is default. It's already in the mortgage commitments. If we have any default, our insurance, our mortgage payment, interest payment going to be 18%. It's already written there. They go for that value and charge money when the time of the discharge. Failing to keep the premises in a reasonable state of repairs. What happened? You are getting the mortgage because you are saying you want to leave the property. You want to demolishing the property. So far in my experience, few people came. They bought a bungalow and they started demolish the property without telling the bank. While they are building the bank, building builders building it, the banks find out they demolish the house without the permission. They demolish the house. But they said within 60 days, pay off my money and clear me out. These are the things, guys. But if we are removing the kitchen for the house, it's not a livable condition. If not livable condition, bank could say, pay off the mortgage, or they go for power of sale side. Selling the property without the bank consent. Selling the property without the bank consent means they can't sell selling the property. That's the word from the legal website. But that's mean you are adding somebody's name or removing somebody's name. For example, the time you buy the house with the daughter's name, brother-in-law's name, and the father's name or whatever. They are removing one person's name. After that, one go to the lawyers and removing the name without telling the lawyers. This happened before. Now it's very strict. Lawyers lose the license. Before, I know one of the lawyers, he simply moved the names for the title without the mortgage company's consent. For example, 3 people buying the property, removing one of the person's name without telling the bank. That's been what happened. Mortgage under the 3 people's name, asset only 2 people's name. That's illegal. Banks can tell them. Mostly they can't go to power of sale, but they always tell them to discharge the mortgage within certain period of time. Okay, anything come default, what is the timeline? That you don't need as a real estate salesperson, but at the same time, just telling you, taking only 1 minute and telling you, okay, the mortgage lender, this can be a bank, okay, can be a second mortgage, private lenders, B lenders, private lenders, make corporation, or you lend it yourself, doesn't matter. You can do the power of sale, and you have to wait for send the notice first. So step 1, the borrower's default mortgages. Step 2, the lender deliver the notice to the related parties, and they have to inform the parties only 15 days time they can give, and after that they don't pay the money within 15 days time, and after 15 days they can start to work on it. And you can study it when you study for the mortgage courses, and course 1 they had to wait for the lenders would wait for 35 days or 45 days of property. The married couple living there 40 days or regular notice 35 days. You can study those one. And the borrower give the time frame to pay off the default notice. After that, lender applies to the position of the property. They apply to the courts and get the position of the property. That takes at least 3 months time to get the position. After they get the position of the property, they go to the they evict whoever is there. That's also if the tenant is there, and there are different regulations come. Tenants property, the tenants who to pay for the rent and those kind of things. We have some legal issues. But anyway, I go basic on this one because we don't, as we're making money, we don't need to know that one. As a knowledge, you can read that one. And after the process is completed, what's going to happen? Our job start, guys. This is the place our job start as a real estate salesperson. Okay, getting the listing. Who is going to put the listing for the power of sale listing? Banks, B lenders, or the corporations who are lending the money. And what they have to do? They are power of sale. They are going to get the power to sell the property. Again, we are talking about the listing. Under the power of sale lender, they're getting the rights. They're getting the rights to list the property through the mortgage documents. Through the mortgage document, he's getting the listing. Power to sell. In that case, when he power to sell, he has to sell it for the market price. He cannot sell under market value. He had to sell the market price. Power of sale is different than foreclosure. We talk about the foreclosure a few minutes after that one. We talk about power of sale right now. Power of sale, lender want to power to sell and get his money back. And the balance of the money, he has to give it to the original owner. If the lender sell the property under value, what will happen? If the seller sell it under value, what happened? The original owner can sue the seller. The process is wrong. He has a right to file the case. And what will happen when it's come to power of sale? They get the position and they're saying the courts give the order to sell the property. What they are doing it, for example, take one major bank, say Royal Bank, for example. The Gowlings is the mortgage company is handling the Royal Bank listing, and Royal Bank will tell the bank managers or mortgage reps or whoever is that, okay, they want to promote their business. Unknown related person for the particular house. The person who had hire independent real estate agent, they are the one listing it. They are giving the chance for the mortgage brokers or the branch managers to get the job for the real estate agent, referring the real estate agent. And the mortgage broker, the mobile brokers maybe call you and say, we have power of sale. And what will happen? The bank supposed to get at least 2 real estate agent values. Sometimes they go only 1 real estate agent value and 2 appraised value. They had to go for 3 values. But mostly they go for 1 real estate agent and 2 appraisers and get the value, and they go for the market value. They don't go the less price. Power of sale, as a salesperson, if you think power of sale is lower value, you are wrong. Power of sale is supposed to go to the market value. Please understand, when you give the CMA, when you give this, used to be most of the mortgage brokers are bank mortgage reps. We got lots of power of sale, at least 10-15 power of sale a year in the office. But now everybody is private mortgages and this and that. Anyway, what happened? You have to give the right value for the property. Then even though you give the lower value or higher value, they go for the average value with your value, your CMA. That's a place you need to use a CMA. The CMA as well as 2 appraised value. They come to the price for the value. And the banks, if you are working for the bank, they will ask you to fill out the application as a listing agreement and the listing agreement. You fill out the listing agreement without the commission, without the price, and give it to the bank, and without the starting date. That's the way the bank process are. Then they will fill out the rest of the column, and they'll give you what date the listing starts and how is the price. How's the price? Mostly coming the power of sale listing today's standard and last 5 years, 4.5% commission. The 5.5% the total commission, 1% go to the lawyers who handle the power of sale. The power of sale fees is 1% commission go to the lawyers. That's the way even the big firms are doing it, only 1% commission, their total commission. And the rest of the money, 4.5% is come to the real estate office. And you negotiate that one, 2.5 and 2 or 2.25 and 2, whatever the way you want to negotiate, they don't involve. The bank doesn't involve. The cooperating commission, real estate listing person take the real estate listing. What most of the listing officers do for the real power of sale, they take 3% and give it to 1.5% or 2% for the cooperating broker. You can see the listing. Why? Power of sale is a magic word. Power of sale properties definitely sell. The buyers, in my opinion, for real estate industry, the buyers pay extra money. Honestly saying, guys, don't get me wrong. In my experience, buyers pay extra money to buy the property. They're thinking they are getting the better deal and paying more money to get the power of sale properties and do the repairs after that one. Repairs can be anything. But anyway, I'm strict with my real estate side. But as a real estate salesperson, you are getting the listing from the bank or B lenders or the private lenders, wherever you're getting it. Who is the signing authority? You have to know who have the signing authority. Most of the time, signing authorities that the particular bank's lawyers having the signing authority. In that case, you had to have 48 hours irrevocable time. Whatever the most of the power of sale, the banks might say, don't take the offer right away and leave it for 5 banking days, at least 5 banking days. Mostly they like 10 banking days. Some of the banks only want to say 5 banking days. Some banks doesn't say how many days in the market, but they want to be the listing at least few days in the market to get the right price. Say 5 days. After 5 days, what do? You always telling the offers to sell them, give you 48 hours irrevocable because the lawyers need to sign this one without holiday season. Sometimes the private lenders give the authority to the lawyers give the authority to the lender to sign the transaction. That depends on the listing. You guys verify those power of sale clauses and everything. If you are getting the listing, each of every listing are case by cases. Okay, all right. After that one, what do you do? Power of sale listing. There are certain things bank watch it. For example, if we are acting for the bank or the private lender for the power of sale listing, the HST part always they put HST is included, but residential resale HST is not included. But the bank want to protect themselves. Why? The bank never lived that house. Bank is getting the rights to sell the property only. Bank doesn't give any warranty. Bank doesn't give any plan. No chattels are included the power of sale. Even though chattel is there, the buyer can take it. The bank not going to take it out. Even honestly saying, I listed one property from Scotia Bank in Western and Lawrence. The furniture alone was in the property over $25,000 worth of furniture. I wish I could buy that time, but they didn't allow me to buy. They didn't allow me to buy. They didn't allow me to buy as a listing agent over my company that time. It was a Scotia Bank power of sale listing. Though I'm talking about those 10, 15 years ago, sorry. But still, whatever come with the house, whatever is in the house, the buyer is taking over. That's the way the jokes always the joke and cat is there. Buyer has to take it out and give it to the pet department. But anything is belongs to. But at the same time, nothing in writing. Nothing in writing for even the car is there in the garage. For example, power of sale property as a listing agent, carefully look at those ones. The car is in the garage. They are getting the VIN number through the ministry because the car was parked in the garage. The power of sale. I don't want to argue those things, but there are so many unknown factors are there. Anyway, if you are a listing agent carefully handles. There are certain clauses the banks wanted to cut it out. Bank may give you the sample offers, cross the UV clauses and chattels, fixtures, chattel, rental agreements. Everything they cross it out. But if any liens there, they already clear out the liens in the property. That's the way to handle the power of sale properties. The lawyers handle it. Listing agent, you had to give the CMA and you had to get all the offers and send it to the lawyers and let the lawyers handling it. Estate property, mostly our real estate agents. You may end up listing the estate properties. When you come to estate property, what is estate? Estate means person who owned the property, he dies. With will or without will, doesn't matter. That's go under the probate. For example, only husband and wife live there and one person dies, that's not under the estate property. The existing party going to take over the title based on the joint tenancy agreement. And one person live there and dies, with will, without will, doesn't matter. It has to go through the probate. Yeah, I did teach about the probate many times, but at the same time, as a listing agent, somebody calling you, my uncle, auntie, or whoever dies, and I'm going to list the property. I have the will and this and that. Anything can happen, parents or anything. But you have to protect you have to protect the client. You have to tell the client to go to the lawyers and apply for the certificate of appointment of trustee. We have to get the certificate of appointment of trustee saying that, well, if somebody had a will, it's faster. If there is no will, they will wait some time to see there is another owner of the property. Maybe the another owner maybe not doesn't know. Maybe the man died. They have a kids with a different woman. So whatever the reason, I don't want to go to the bad ways or anything, guys. Please understand. There's another. He married. He is married and live with another second marriage. Go to different country and marry another lady. There's so many things we seen it in the cases. Whatever happened, they want to wait some time to see some time. Anybody else coming and demanding for that particular property. After that one only they can issue the certificate. Until they issue the certificate, no more only close we put our office, the listing and any agreement of the purchase and sale. This is our office close. I'm reading it. I get it printed out this morning. Probate condition. The listing and any agreement of purchase and sale are to be conditional upon seller obtaining the certificate of appointment of estate trustee from the Supreme Court of Justice prior to the closing date. This is the clause we're putting in. But the old name called estoppel certificate. Now we call as a certificate of appointment of estate trustee. But we had to have another clause also. We had to have as a listing agent. You must have another clause. What's the clause? If the seller unable to get the estate, then the seller reserve the rights to give the notice in 30 days in advance to extending the closing date. As a real estate agent, you had to advise your clients and you had to give it to the lawyer to read this one before you put the listing in. The reason, otherwise, the offer come in, the offer need to be read by the lawyer. The reason, in case any delays, there are so many probates, we see the delays, the last minute delays. If delays come, the purchase sale agreement, they had to close it at a particular time. Then we had to have some remedies for that one. Real estate agent, you have to have enough knowledge. Don't be hurried to list the property if you don't have any experience. Or else you consult with the estate lawyers, seller's estate lawyer to find out to do those one. I'll tell you some 1 or 2 cases after this one. You have to do those one, okay? Then what do you have to put a clause saying that one? If you after this clause, the listing agent, listing and any agreement of purchase and sale, conditional upon seller obtaining the certificate of appointment of trustee. If not, what we had to do, we had to get the 2 remedies. 2 remedies we had to get. We are real estate salespeople. We are not lawyers. We need to sell it. Then only we get the money. I'm keeping that in my mind and teaching you guys. Okay, we had to have 2 remedies. One, we had to have the rights to postpone the closing date until we get the certificate. Unlimited time, of course, unlimited time, but we had to extend every monthly basis. Otherwise, what we had to do, we had to put the clause. We had to ask the clause saying that one. Let me pull those one, guys. Okay. In this event, the seller unable as a buying side. Okay, I'm telling you this buying side. If you are a buying agent, if you are making the offer for this transaction and the listing agent for the seller, you have to understand that one too, because we are salespeople, we have to close the transaction. Okay. The probate clause delays. In the event of the probate clause delays, you get the rights to rent the property. This means you will renting the home from the seller at the particular price until probate is granted by the Supreme Court of Canada and the firm closing. There are some remedies I need to teach you. Otherwise, no point of teaching you as a lawyer. But we need to extend the closing date. That's good for both parties. If the lawyer finds there are some other people's coming to asking the rights of this house or whatever happened, we had to put in the writing for this offer saying that one. In the event the seller unable to get the certificate of appointment of estate trustee, we had to, the buyer need to rent the property. Buyer need to rent the property until get the certification, until the firm closing for the certain rental agreement. In that case, the buyer doesn't affect. He can rent the property and he can move it and he can live. This price is guaranteed. That's going to help for the both sides, because the falling market, seller is protected. If the market is increased, buyer is protected. In that case, it's fair for both parties. And under the closing, maybe 3-4 months, whatever happened, the closing, we keep the house. This is basically for the estate properties. Other thing for the how to get the listing. Okay, if somebody called you to list the property, again talk to them and talk to the lawyer who is the one acting for the seller for the probate, who is the one dealing with the probate. Recently happened one of the case. It's a probate. It's a tenants in common house. Tenants in common house with the father, mother, and the daughter. Tenants in common. Father and mother passed away, and that has to go under the probate. The agent who listed the property without the certificate of appointment of estate, and they both died 10 years ago. The daughter was completely living there. Our office agent bought the property from her, and finally, when it's go to the lawyer's office, lawyers check the original. I don't know how come our agent didn't check it out. The land registry office. I don't know. They had to check it out sometime. But we are making money, guys. We had to do our job right to protect our clients. Sometimes we rush in and do the deals for money that sometimes that's put everybody in trouble. Anyway, in this particular case, the lawyer checked the title. The very short closing, only 3 weeks closing. Lawyer checked the title, showing that when somebody's name in the title. Then when they inquired, the father and the mother and the daughter own the property. Then this has to go to the probate. If it is go to the probate, how many months it takes? 4 to 5 months sometime. Sometimes it's faster, but still the closing is supposed to be next week. Then the smart lawyer actually inquire with the different places and find out if anything is one of the loophole. She found out if it is the probate value is less than 50,000. Again, the time of the property house was lower value, and whatever the reason anyway, the probate value they declared it less than 50,000, and without the probate, they did the successful closing the transaction, and the person who sold the property undertake any issues come in the future, they can handle it, and those kind of situation we did that one. This happened a few months ago in our office transaction with our lawyer side. All right. This is basically, but if we are making an offer for the power of sale, guys, again, I covered this part. We are making the offer for the power of sale. Some people think very low price doesn't work. You can try it out, anything you can give, but the lawyers cannot take it, because lawyers has to answer it to the owners, why they sold it for the lower price. But in some cases, yes, we've seen it for the lower price, but if the listing come to the market twice, and with CMSCH for the power of sale, my experience of the real estate industry, just the price went down a little bit more than our expectation. CMSCH is a big department. After 2 times the bank lists the property, 3rd time CMSCH listing the property, I seen some price reduction, price lower, and that's one thing. When you are making an offer, mostly the question agents ask, can I put the condition of power of sale? No condition. Yes, you can put the condition for power of sale. But there is no limitation. You put the condition or no condition for the power of sale or estate properties. Just your choice. If the bank get power of sale, one of the magic word, any houses, any worse houses with the power of sale with a higher price sells. That's our human weakness. Power of sale is one of the demand listing anyway. You can put the clauses and your inspection clause or any clauses, but only thing you cannot put it in any defect in the house. You have to do the inspection, but you don't have people to sue, because the bank or whoever selling the power of sale, they didn't leave that house. They don't know any water leak of the house. They don't know any UV condition of the house. They don't know anything else that particular house. In that case, the condition you can put it in, suing for them after the deal. There's no lawsuit after that, in my knowledge. power sale properties. And HST, always agents get confused, the HST side. Power sale properties, all the banks, all the lenders put HST included, but the end, you don't need to pay the HST. What else for the power sale side? Okay, power sale properties, you have to inform your clients if you are making the power sale, the original owner can redeem the power sale house before the closing, any time before the closing. Some lawyers might say, no, they can redeem. We have a firm offer and we have a firm deposit, firm offer and everything. The price of the transaction, the price is already under MLS, sold firm and everything. Some lawyers might say, no, they don't have a right to redeem. But in my experience and the lawyer side, the court side, they are allowing, they don't want anybody lose the shelter. They don't want anybody to lose the shelter. That's also the primary house or in rental properties, little bit tricky side with the court decision. But anyway, most of the cases, until closing the transaction, the buyer side, even though buyer have the mortgage, buyer have money or anything is not guaranteed, we can close the transaction. Anytime the seller can redeem the mortgage and get the house back. That's one of the things for the power of sale. It's not guaranteed, the moving date. Moving date is not guaranteed. What else I had to tell you for the power of sale side? Power of sale time, somebody moving the property with a bad shape. They can damage the property if they lose the money, they damage the property. Or some people, they can peacefully leave the property, but you don't know the condition. The worst thing, what you can see, they put a cement in the toilets. That's I seen it too. One of the deal in Mississauga, our office deal. They left the property and they put the packet of what do you call what cement means fence cement. Fence cement is a loose one, and you put the you saw it. The people put the fence post, that kind is a different kind of cement. They put that one and put the water on it and go. The buyer who bought it, they spend around $30,000-$40,000 to break the basement and put renovate it. That's bad sellers. Bad sellers can happen. There's no remedies, guys. I'm not discouraging the power of sale side. I'm just sharing the information. Anything can happen for the power of sale side. Nothing you can do for the power of sale side. Either closing date, before the closing date, they redeem the mortgages or any other damages. Under the estate sale, we don't have that much things. Estate sale, I always like it. I always, opposite to the power of sale, I always like the estate sale. Most of the estate sale, the owners, present owners may not live in Canada. They live in the different countries or different provinces or different areas. You can see it as an experienced agent, I am sharing with you. If it is come to estate, I tell you one trick part to reduce the price. If it's an estate listing, look at the agent. Where are the agents coming from? Mostly the agents coming from different district. Even some agents come from Kingston, Ottawa, or different province and list the property in Toronto because the parents live there and parents dies and the kids getting the power to sell for the estate side. Good bargain you can get. In my experience, I would say estate sales very good bargain. Then power of sale, I always question in my mind for the bad experience. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Anybody have a question? I'm free. You can ask me. We can have a question, or if you want anything. One second. One agent sent me the question saying that this morning I missed that one. Okay, he asking me what are the things we have to consider the farm purchase. He's asking about the farmland purchase. If you have time, the Zoom meeting, can Silvana please explain? I just farm. I didn't prepare this one specially, but based on my knowledge, I'm telling you the farmland. When you go for the farmland, the major thing you have to look at it. The farm come with only the crops or the animals. If the animals are in the farm, any animals are living in the farm, that's one of the issue to get the mortgage. Number one consideration. Second thing, when you go to the farmland or bare land, anything you buy, you have to look at how many wetland is there, how many places wetland. Mostly, if you ask me of the farmland, most of the farmland wetland is very less. But if you are buying the regular bare land, you can see more wetland. how many wetland is there? That's going to be the price issue. When it's come to the either farm or acres of land, the property taxes is one of the identity. You can see the value of the farm, because if it is a property tax, I can say directly the property tax alone, because the farmers having, if we are member of the farm society, you can say the board, they are member of the farm society. Even the steel road, when you drive, you can see the farmers association certificate. In that case, property tax is very lower. That's the way the government supporting the farmers. But at the same time, if somebody buying the farmland, I know some agents ask me, they buy the farmland and they want to divide the farmland as a few owners. That's one of the worst things they can think and do it. Government doesn't want to let that happen. The farmland, they like Canada, they like to keep the farmland as big as possible. That's happened in Sri Lanka, guys. You guys know that one. If you have experience in Sri Lanka, 1971, the law changes and maximum person can own the farmland or estate land only for the one person sending me a message. Okay, I'll come back. The land system, 50 acres land, only one single family can own. 1971 law came. After that, all our Tamil real estate, tea estates all broken into different pieces. Where is Sri Lankan tea right now? They are not an export quality right now. Anyway, the Canada want to keep the farmland as big as possible. If somebody want to buy the farmland and divide the farmland as a 5 people want to divide the farmland, that's impossible. Only time they allow the farmland, husband and wife buy, and the legal courts, divorce cases, sometimes they may divide the farmland as half. Other than anything else, they cannot do it. They don't want to divide the farmland as a small pieces. And as how many houses you can build for the farmland? Only one house. You can have a bigger house, but at the same time, you can have only one house, even though you have a bigger lot. Not only a farmland, either farmland or any other regular bare lands, rural recreation properties. Even though rural recreation properties, guys, acres doesn't matter. How many usable acres? Usable land in the acres is more important than how many acres is there. Another one for the farmland, you have to look at the environmental side, because environmental. Why the environmental is important? Environmental, we always talk about the gas stations and the commercial and everything. But if you are going for the mortgage, the farmland also, if it is not a flat land, what will happen? The water might go to just one area. If the farmland is a slope area, but what happened? We did always using years and years using the artificial fertilizers. Artificial fertilizers might move to one area. If the artificial fertilizers move to one area, that area pH level is going to be different. Then the farmland sometimes is an issue with the environmental side. They may not going to give the mortgage if the soil testing is, maybe you go to the phase 1, maybe it's clear, but even though phase 1 is clear, the banks ask you phase 2 environmental report because of the size of the farmland and the slope of the farmland. This has happened sometime. We've seen it. Other than the farmland, mortgage companies, there are 4 mortgage companies. Government grant is there for the farmland if not farm, unable to farm. But the farmland, if somebody buy the farmland and not to do the farm, you get a penalty from the government, because everybody looking for the farm to eat. If you have the money, you're buying the farmland and you are not doing anything, what will happen? You get the ticket. And recently I watched the video for the US Farm Association's video. Bill Gates is one of the man. He's a software engineer, software side. Everybody know Bill Gates was one of the richest man, and he moved to the this medical industry, Pfizer and other places. He bought the chairs. But at the same time, he is one of the 5th largest farmland owner in US. 5th largest. My statistics, guys, I only watched one of the video. I might be wrong. Don't take my word for granted. That's what I see in one of the farm. Not today's meeting. I got the message only after I came to the office. One of the time I was doing the farmland as a topic for you guys. That time I was watched the video. That video shows one of the Bill Gates, one of the major investor, became as a 5th investor for the 5th top investor for the farmlands. Again, Ravi, you asked me the question, Ravi. Based on the general knowledge only I sharing with you, not the deeper question. If you have any deep questions, send it to me. We can talk one-on-one, or else I can share the next meeting. If you have any questions, send it to me. The basically with animal or without animal is important. Mortgage financing is important. You can't go with the 20% anyway. You should know that one. Farmland and existing farm. The farm didn't do the farm for a while. And how many owners for the farm? What kind of crops they are doing the farm? Which province you are buying the farmlands? There are so many factors is considering for the farmland side. How big the farmland you're looking for? And call me personally if you are looking for any particular farmland. I can share the knowledge, or else send me the text for the next class. We can talk about it. If anybody want to talk anything, especially learn anything, please feel free to text one day before, because we already put the Zoom link on the Friday afternoon. Then that case Friday, at least Friday morning. Before Friday morning, if you send me the message, which topic you want to learn, we can do it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. And we will meet for the next class. Thank you. Oh, somebody sent me that question. Sorry, guys, only 1 minute. What is the difference between foreclosure and the power of sale? Power of sale, you getting the power to sell and get the money. That's called power of sale. Foreclosure, you are trying to get the property. You owning the property. That's called foreclosure. Power of sale, whatever the profit come, you have to pay it for the original owner. Foreclosure, you are taking the property and keeping the property, do whatever you like. You don't have to sell it. And power of sale, the owner can come and sue you to get if you sell under value. Foreclosure, if you get the property for the lower value, nothing they can do. This is the basic difference, Raj. Thank you. That's it for today. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Silvana.
See you guys. See you next time.
ஏ ராசா ரைட் ஷேரிங் கம்பெனி ARASA.ca என்ற இணையதளத்துக்கு சென்று ஏ ராசா டிரைவர்ஸ் ஆப்பினை டவுன்லோட் செய்து டிரைவர்ஸாக வேலை வாய்ப்பை பெறுங்கள். மாதாந்தம் $4000 வரை சம்பாதியுங்கள். வணிக நிறுவனங்கள் ஏ ராசா இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் மளிகை பொருட்கள் மற்றும் உணவுப் பொருட்களை விற்பதோடு வாடிக்கையாளர்களுக்கு டெலிவரி செய்யலாம். தமிழில் தகவல்களை அறியாளையுங்கள். GTA பற்றி 40 ஆண்டுகள் அறிந்து கொண்டவரும் வீடு விற்பனை துறை ஊடாக மக்களால் அறியப்பட்டவருமான சிவா பிள்ளை. 416-854-0005. Taxi broker licensed by City of Toronto.